Hi, today is the first medical physiology video. So, the basic thing we have to understand is about cells. So, in order to understand cells, we have to understand the environment, call it the internal environment, which is the body. So, a brief introduction about the body. Physiology is understanding of life. So, how the body works. Okay, we can understand viral, bacterial, plants, or animals, but medical physiology is the human body, how the human body works. Okay, it is under normal conditions. We are not trying to understand how the body works when there is a disease. Okay, but under normal conditions. So about our bodies, each person has uh, for up to 40 trillion cells, and most of it are red blood cells. Okay, because I think red blood cells are smaller than the other cells. So a lot of them are red blood cells. And every cell has a different function. Every cell plays a different role. For example, the kidney cell or the pancreas cell or the intestine cells have a different function like the lungs. But all of them have two basic characteristics, which are respiration and replication. Respiration is how they make energy for them. Replication is how they multiply. Okay, uh, and then not only there are cells in our body, there are a lot of microorganisms. So there are up to, in the gut alone, in the intestine, there can be 1,000 species of bacteria inside, and there are many more in the skin, mouth, and nose. And 60% of the body, about 60% is water, and two-thirds are inside the cells themselves. We call it intracellular fluid, and one-third are extracellular fluid. Right, one-third will be in the blood. We call it blood, but actually in medicine we call it plus. The blood is divided into two. One is plasma, and one is the something else. But cells can live and perform as long as they have the proper concentrations of glucose, oxygen, right? So all these things, we call this the internal environment or the extracellular fluid. They must be maintained. Okay. So this will be about the fluids. After this, then we can proceed further. So fluids, we have to break down into extracellular and intracellular. Extracellular, we have a lot of these ions. Okay, ions are basically atoms. Okay, they're atoms, but they have a positive charge or a negative charge because they have lost either an electron, right? They have lost an electron, so it's sodium. So they are very reactive lah. Whenever you see ions, means they are ready to form chemical bonds, right? Because they have been broken down. Like when you eat salt, sodium chloride, so sodium and chloride will break down into different ions. So uh, there are a lot of these ions, carbon ions, and also in the extracellular fluid we got oxygen, glucose, fatty acids, and amino acids. Amino acids, proteins lah, and fat lah. Okay, so this is understandable. And intracellular fluid, we got a lot of these three: potassium, magnesium, and phosphate ions. So you will see that potassium is very important. Later we will understand that it is in ATP, in the production of energy, they need a lot of potassium. Okay, phosphate is for the production of proteins. Okay, magnesium, I'm not sure it's a carrier or something, but this one is not relevant now. It's not needed now. Just to know the ions that are necessary for inside the fluid. And there are very powerful control systems. So to maintain the concentration, one, you cannot go too far, too strong, too salty, or too little salt also cannot, right? So in the cell itself, they must have a mechanism. So we will study all these different mechanisms. And homeostasis is defined by maintaining a near constant condition in this environment. And sickness, okay, so one of the ways, okay, that we have to take care in studying medicine is we want to know the difference between the cause of the disease and the response, the compensatory response. So for example, if the kidney cannot excrete salt and water, then the body will automatically adjust, and you will have high blood pressure. Okay, so this high blood pressure, then only the kidney start to excrete, right, start to create urine. But over long periods of time, this high blood pressure can damage various organs, and then the kidney will be even greater, greater damage will be caused to the kidney. So the body is able to perform trade-offs that are necessary, but as a student, we have to understand the cause and the response, and treat the cause, not the response. Of course, sometimes we also treat the response okay. But yeah, this is the last slide. So this slide is about the whole body. This is all the blood vessels, the veins and the arteries. So the whole blood here circulates on a average human once every minute. It is able to pump. But when you exercise, then it can go up to 6 times every minute. So every 10 seconds once, right? When you're having a hard exercise. So most cells are located very near the capillary. Capillary is the smallest blood vessel. Okay, most cells, there are capillaries all over. So whenever you eat something, whenever you eat medicine or drugs, it can reach even the furthest cells in the fingers or in the toes, right? Because most cells are located only 50 micrometers from a capillary. Yeah, so it is constantly, the blood is constantly affecting the cells, right? And they are constantly mixing around. So the so-called internal environment of the cell has to be properly maintained, and we can see the effect, okay, in sickness later. Okay, thank you.